Good evening, everyone. We'll get ready to start our Akron Citizens Police Oversight meeting for March 6, 2024. We'll open with a roll call. Aniskevich.
Here.
Gippin. Here. Castle.
Here.
Costa.
Here.
Richards.
Here.
Mr. Peoples and Ms. Reed will be absent on this evening. Boyd is here.
Did you want Rich to see if anybody's saying?
Oh, I will. Let me check and see if there's any. There are no public comments, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So we'll look to review and approve the minutes from last meeting.
So move.
Get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Item number 3, Ms. Aniskevich. Purpose and values of our board,
Okay, you want me to start with the purpose part?
please.
Okay, the purpose. The overarching mission of the Akron Citizens Police Oversight Board is to foster conditions and police practices that ensure the safety of all residents of the city of Akron. The CPOB is empowered by a new city charter provision to independently direct the police auditor, whose office reviews investigations into complaints and misconduct involving officers. The board and auditor also review every standard investigation, whether by the Akron Police Department or outside agencies, into the use of deadly force by an officer. The CPOB has the authority to, number 1, appoint and provide oversight of the Office of the Independent Police Auditor, also known as OIPA, and reappoint/terminate personnel with OIPA. 2, approve external and independent oversight and review of policing practices within the city of Akron. 3, subject to approval of council, the CPOB may adopt rules providing for the procedures and operations of the board and the OIPA, including the scheduling of regular board meetings and for the election of a board chair and vice chair. Number 4, propose with OIPA an annual operating budget. Number 5, issue an annual report to the community of CPOP activities and recommendations made to the mayor and council. Vision also?
No, just the values.
Okay, values. Our decisions and actions are motivated by our love for Akron and our desire for all to feel safe in the community. We value unity in voice and action. We respect each other and those we serve. We seek to build relationships of trust, and we seek to always conduct ourselves with integrity. We listen to understand, learn, and lead. We strive to be inclusive of all stakeholders' voices. We value change at a system level. We hold ourselves accountable for our actions and deeds, and we hold our partners and those we serve to be accountable for their actions and deeds.
If we all still signify and agree to these purpose and the values and the commitment, let's signify by saying, I do. I'll go around and roll call. Aniskevich?
Yes.
Gibbon?
I do.
Castle?
I do.
Costa?
I do.
Richards?
I do.
Boyd? I do. Thank you very much, Ms.
I'm
Aniskevich.
supposed to say I do instead of yes. I do.
I do. Well, it was kind of a marriage. We're going into covenant, for sure. Ms. Aniskevich, do we have any public comment?
We have no public comment, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to item number 5 in our agenda, where we start with our subcommittee report out. First is Mr. Gippin and governance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have one item of business. Governance Subcommittee last evening approved a resolution on ratification of prior actions which I circulated to the members this morning. Hopefully you all have it. I can recirculate it to you if not. I would move adoption of the resolution, and obviously if it's seconded, we can discuss it. I move adoption, Mr. Chairman.
I second.
Any discussion?
Just to explain briefly the purpose, Mr. Chairman, the rules, as everybody knows, were approved by the City Council on February 26th, although the legislation actually was signed by the mayor the next day, so technically the 27th. Of course, which we're very grateful that occurred. There is some legal uncertainty that was created by the actions that we took during those approximately 11 months when we did not have rules. So in order to remove that uncertainty, this resolution has the effect by ratification and approval of affirming, I should say, of making those actions that we took previously effective as if the rules had been in effect at that time. It's a legal thing. It's very common in the corporate world to do matters like this or do resolutions like this. It was reviewed by the law department and approved, and it should be to good effect. I need to say, particularly for Shannon's sake, to the extent there was any uncertainty about her being hired during that period when we did not have approved rules, this would remove that uncertainty. So that's the purpose of it. It is a very technical legal matter, but it's an important one, and I hope that the board will approve it. I'd be happy to answer questions.
Any questions? Discussion? So, all right, we'll roll call vote to accept it. Anaskevich?
Yes.
Gippin?
Yes.
Castle?
Yes.
Costa?
Yes.
Richards?
Yes.
Boyd? Yes.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chair, and I have no other report.
Thank you, Mr. Gippin, and thank you to your subcommittee and all the great work that you all are doing. Next will be Ms. Richards and HR.
I would have liked to put forth a motion to extend an offer to Mr. Fennell tonight, but we don't have a full board. So I would like to request that as soon as humanly possible, we have a special board meeting so we could take that vote. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Okay.
May I just ask a question? Ms. Richards, just so we understand, the resolution, when it's actually framed, will be to appoint him as auditor? Is that
Yes.
correct? Thank you.
Any discussion?
I agree with Ms. Richard on that. I'd like to,
I do too.
I'd
We
like
need
to
to-
do it as soon as we can.
We need to move as soon as possible. We have complaints. The complaints are still coming in.
I mean, we have a quorum tonight.
Okay, we can vote tonight as far as I'm concerned.
I think we need to have every member here.
Well, we already know what the people who are missing, what their vote.
But they can't vote. They can't vote not with their.
I know they can't, but if we have a quorum, we can vote, knowing that they would approve the vote.
I disagree. I would rather wait till we have every member. I think every member should vote on this.
So is
I
there,
think we've delayed it.
I mean, if you guys want to vote, you can make a motion to go ahead and lean into vote and get seconded. I mean, there's nothing.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What were you saying?
No, I'm saying if we have a quorum and the board feels that we're ready to vote, then there needs to be a motion that needs to be seconded to extend Ms. Richards, to extend Mr. Fennell an offer.
Well, maybe we should
And then
just
we can
wait.
have discussion, if there needs to be discussion.
Unless somebody's
There
planning,
does not appear to be a motion, Mr. Chair.
unless someone's planning to vote no, then maybe we should just wait.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Costa.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Anthony Fennell as our independent auditor.
I second.
I'm going to move to table, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second to the table?
I have a question. If the vote doesn't pass tonight, will we have an opportunity to vote a second time?
Yes.
When everyone's here?
Yes, the fact that the vote may fail, that the motion may fail, doesn't prevent it from being made again.
Okay.
So we didn't get the second from the table. Is there any further discussion about Mr. Fennell?
I think we should extend the offer to him. I think he should be our auditor, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, he's our best choice.
And I may say, Mr. Chair, you know, that it's not a matter of his doing work. I'm going to be careful how I choose my words here. Doing work for the board in some other role. We are the office of auditor and deputy auditor, but the auditor in particular exists in the charter as much as our offices exist in the charter. We are legally mandated to have an auditor. And the auditor has certain powers that we do not have. So we either need to appoint him as our auditor or not. But, you know, some intermediate role is not appropriate. We need an auditor, and he is clearly the best choice for auditor. He is also one who can become auditor immediately. If we were to move on, it would be a matter of potentially months before we would actually have an auditor. So I think it is the right thing to do to appoint him auditor.
And keep in mind, we still have to hire a deputy auditor, you know, which he will be extremely instrumental in that hiring process. And I don't think anybody who's sitting here with his knowledge and his background and his expertise, I don't think there's anyone sitting here that can say that we too as a board cannot and will not learn from him as well on how to be the best board that we could possibly be, because he knows his way around boards. So he is our choice, he's our best choice, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, I know that there's been some scrutiny in the media, but the media is not going to choose our auditor for us. We are.
Yeah, for me, my discussion is going to be what it's been for the past 2.5 months. I believe Mr. Fennell would be a great consultant for us. I stand on that for the reasons I've mentioned before. For me, it's not about if we hire him, it's just what role and the capacity that we hire him to work in. And so I'm stating that for the record.
But he applied to be an auditor, and we interviewed him as an auditor, 3 times? We put him before the public as an auditor. And frankly, the fact that a representative from the mayor's office came in here at our last meeting and mentioned the word consultant, it doesn't sit right with me at all, because we're an independent board. It felt like the mayor's office was putting their thumb on the scale on wanting him to be more of a consultant and auditor. That's inappropriate, and I'm sure the mayor knows that because he helped write the legislation that seated us in the first place. So, no, and finally, it's an insult to Mr. Fennell. He applied to be an auditor, not a consultant.
Okay.
It's an insult to him, especially bringing him here to town with his wife on their anniversary, putting him before the public, letting the public scrutinize him, letting the news media scrutinize him, both the print media and the television media, Channel 3, and then to now go back and say, well, you know, we kind of think we want you as an auditor. That's just totally inappropriate, and it's a total insult. And I don't think we would have done anyone else this way.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Anaskevich. Any other comments? So the motion and the second on the table is to make Mr. Fennell an offer to be an auditor, correct?
It is to appoint him as auditor.
Okay. We ready to vote?
I take it my motion to table did not get a second?
I'd like to second.
Motion to table is not debatable, Mr. Chair.
Okay?
Can we vote on that motion to table?
Aniskevich.
Okay, so I'm starting to feel some kind of way here. So I'm going to second Mr. Gibbons' motion because I want everyone.
It's already been
Oh, it's already been
seconded.
seconded?
It's already
Oh, I'm
been,
sorry.
Katie seconded.
I'm sorry.
There's a vote on the motion.
Yes, because I want everyone to be here to vote, everyone. Yes,
Mr. Gibbon?
Yes.
Castle?
Yes.
Costa?
Hard no.
Richards?
Yes.
Boyd, yes.
I think we need our other two votes here.
All righty. Anything else from HR?
No, sir.
Okay. Community engagement?
There is no report this evening.
Actually, I have something. It came by my way, and I just thought I would bring it out at the meeting here, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. So a friend of ours, he's an attorney, and I have his permission to mention his name. He used to teach at the law school. Did you graduate from Akron Law School, Brandon?
Yes.
So you may know him. His name is Dean Carroll. You know Dean? He called me, and he is spearheading he lives in Canton, Ohio, and this is strictly for community engagement and just something for you to ponder. You know, because I told him I'm not on the community engagement committee, that you're the chair of it. You're not the chair. Well, but you're part of it. Do you guys have a chair?
We have not gone through that formal
Okay.
process. We're waiting for the rules.
Well, Mr. Carroll works with youth at-risk youth in Canton, Ohio, and he works through the NAACP in Canton, okay? And what they do, he works with the NAACP and local churches in Canton, Ohio. And what they do is they get youth together and teach them about the Second Amendment and teach them how to interact with police officers when they're stopped by police officers, how to properly interact with them so that, you know, something doesn't go south real quick. And he teaches them about the Second Amendment. He would like to consult our community engagement committee about doing the same thing up here, not on a regular basis, maybe once or twice. And he would work with our NAACP here, and he would contact Judy Hill. He's already spoken with her and talked with her. You know, he would engage with her on when and how to do it. And I think, you know, and he says that if you're interested, if our community engagement committee is interested in something like that, you know, I can forward his phone number to you, and you know, you guys can go from there. But he will coordinate with our NAACP chair with, you know, dates, times, when, how, that type of thing. But I think it's an excellent idea because we do have too many young youth who don't know how to interact with the police, especially if their parents have never had to interact with the police. And especially if they get a certain age and they're out with their friends who may not be as good as they are. You know, so I don't see a downside to something like that for the kids in our community. That's just my opinion, and you guys can chime in if you want about it.
I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. I think that'd be a really awesome collaboration. And if nothing else, if like the session led to at least, I guess, one young adult taking away just a way to frame that interaction with the police that may have an impact on their trajectory, then that in itself could be profoundly valuable. So I think that's a really cool idea, and I appreciate you bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome. He
I
said it's
think the
going
more-
very well in Canton. He said it's going extremely well, and a lot of parents are bringing their kids to, you know, from the churches and stuff, are bringing their kids to the meetings so that they can learn.
Yeah, and I think the broader degree of legal expertise that the board has access to is even more the better.
Yeah. Anybody else? Mr. Chair, you work with kids. What do you think?
I I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's important for us to kind of find out some of the things that are currently going on within our community, because I know of some organizations that are doing some similar work in that space. And so I think that'd be important for us to find out who that is. And I don't never think it's anything wrong with having more people that's a part of that process and part of that solution. So I think from a collaborative perspective, I think it'd be good.
Okay. Anybody else?
Sounds good to me. I've known Dean Carroll a long time. He's terrific.
Yeah, he's a real advocate. He's a really nice guy. He's been friends of ours for 40 years or whatever. He's a good guy. He used to be the jail monitor, Summit County jail monitor for years and years and years, to make sure the prisoners were being treated fairly and stuff like that. Caitlin, you have an opinion? You're on the engagement committee.
No, if you can just share the contact, I'd be happy to look into it
Okay.
and be able to filter that through our committee. Yep.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Awesome. Anything else? Anything? Thank you, Ms. Anaskevich. Ms. Richards?
I just would like to figure out how we proceed with a special board meeting, how that's practically going to happen, and work on that. I don't know the process for who contacts all our members to make sure they're all going to be available, what time, all that type of thing.
Well, I think the easiest thing to do, Ms. Richards, is we always have Wednesdays available, so I would just move to do a special meeting next Wednesday.
Will you be in contact with members to make sure everyone can attend? Okay.
And I can be a secondary, I can follow up with a second contact just to make sure everybody knows.
Well, you can go ahead and take the lead on it,
I can
Ms.
just do it.
Anaskevich.
And-
Yeah,
and
please.
That way we know who can make it, and, we need to get this done. And I do know that the two members who are missing are all in for Mr. Fennell, but, as Mr. Gippen stipulated, we need to have them here and have their vote on the record.
So we're saying, making a motion to have a special meeting next Wednesday. It'll be March the 13th, I believe,
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
6 o'clock. Got a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have a work event that evening, so I'll be unavailable. Just a heads up.
We won't be having a special meeting next Wednesday.
Mr. Chairman, can I suggest that Ms. Anaskevich poll the members, all the members,
I need to
Okay.
find out
and
who all.
find, between now and then, and find out. Hopefully, it would be not over an hour, if that, and maybe at some different time of day.
should
And
just be
I think one complication
10
would
minutes.
be, we know Monday's not available, so not Monday.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would assume we can use this room pretty
me-
much anytime.
Let me look at my calendar here, because I'm going to be out of town on the 26th up until April 1st. I'm not going to pass up a week with my granddaughter, so. let me see.
Okay, well, Ms. Anaskevich, I'll wait to hear back from you as far as polling for
And-
next week.
Right, and then, so the next Wednesday after the 13th would be the 20th. Mm-hmm. And then,
That's our regular meeting.
See if you can get people together.
so I'm going to think, okay, maybe the 20th is a must. It's going to have to be a must that everybody's here.
Well,
Everyone who's
Mi-
here now, can you come on the 20th?
Ms. Reed has already told me she's going to be absent on the 20th.
Okay.
She told me that yesterday.
I think the best way is going to be to somehow poll the members and see when they would be available, other than next Monday or Wednesday
Can we do?
for a meeting. And I assume we can arrange this room easily.
Yeah, you had the votes. Yeah, you had the votes.
Like what?
Well, let's do it tonight then, if we have the votes, because,
Well, look, we know the motion's going to fail. What the point of voting on the motion to have it fail?
we can vote on it.
I don't know what that is.
Because we can vote on it again.
But what's the point of forcing a vote that's going to fail?
How do you know?
Because I can count. The chairman has already indicated how he intends to vote. That's 5. We need 6. and that assumes Ms. Castle's vote, and she's not, previously, she's not been in support of him.
Right.
I don't know, and I'm not asking. She will vote when she votes. But without the chairman's vote tonight, there are only 5 votes at best. So the motion will fail.
I'd like to go back to a discussion about this, if we may. Can we? Can I? Am I the only one here that feels that it's improper for it to be suggested that Mr. Fennell be a consultant, even though that same language came from the mayor's office? Am I the only one that feels like that's improper?
I'm going to,
Let me, I want to address that, because because it didn't come from the mayor's office first. It came from my mouth 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago.
Right, it did, but then it
Okay.
came from
I
the
just want-
mayor's office.
But I just want to make that clear for the
Well,
record.
I just think it's kind of a strange coincidence that it also came from the mayor's office.
Well, you would have to ask the mayor.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Well, it's
Let me speak to
improper.
this. On this particular issue, it is obvious the 2 of us are going to vote the same way as to Mr. Fennell. But I will take issue with the suggestion that any conduct by any member to this point on the issue has been inappropriate. We are 8 different people. We have 8 different views.
Thank you.
There's nothing that mandates that any one of us vote any particular way. If it comes to that, if any one of us, wants to take the mayor's suggestion and follow it, there's nothing wrong with that either. So I don't agree that anybody's acted inappropriately. This is an important issue. My own sense is that with our 2 our missing members, that there likely would be 6 votes if no other votes change. And we should have that vote, when everybody can vote. And and Ms. Castle, again, I'm not asking for how you intend to vote. But Mr. Chairman, I respect your view. It differs from mine. We've talked about it quite a bit, and that's where it stands.
I respect his
Thank you,
view
Mr.
as well,
I appreciate it.
very much. I respect his view. I just don't like the fact that that same sentiment came from there, and it shouldn't have. It was inappropriate.
Point of clarification, where in our rules does it say that we need beyond a basic majority?
It's
order
in the
to-
charter, Mr. Costa.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Okay, yeah, we need to figure out, so are we going into April now, which will be a year that we've been seeing?
No. We don't need to go into April. We need to poll.
I won't be here on the 27th.
No, but next week is only March the 11th. So we need to bring everybody back next week for a special meeting to
Yeah,
vote on.
but we know it can't be Monday night, and we know it can't.
It can't be
Wednesday
Monday.
night.
It
It
could be-
could even yet be this Friday night if everybody's available.
It can't be Monday because council meets on Monday.
Correct, and it can't be Wednesday because Ms. Castle won't be here, but I assume this room will be available any other evening. And we need to, Mr. Peoples' schedule, of course, is the one that's going to be difficult with his work schedule.
Okay,
So we need to work around that.
So are we saying any day of the week? You want me to inquire about any day of the week that everyone can be here? Is that it?
Are the people here right now available anytime next week after Monday at 6 p.m.?
I will make myself available.
I'll make myself available.
Yeah,
I will as well.
absolutely.
I'm available next week aside from Wednesday evening.
I can't do Tuesday. I'm sorry. But any other day.
So no Tuesday for Mr. Chairman.
Is this
and no
Friday?
Wednesday for Ms. Castle. Is that correct, the 13th?
And no Monday.
And no Monday.
Right, no Monday. No, well,
So
council will be here.
So Thursday.
No Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So that leaves Thursday and Friday of next week. I will contact Mr. Peoples and Miss Tristan Reed, Miss Reed, and see if they can do Thursday or Friday. And then how do we secure this room for one of those, whatever day that?
A call to Sarah Biviano, the council clerk.
Okay.
Reserve it. Make sure we get it reserved for next.
I'll,
go.
I cannot start later or before 6. I have something at 5 on Thursday
let's
the
keep the
14th.
time the same.
Yeah, we'll keep it
We
6.
can keep the time the same. And then I'll contact you, Shannon,
5 or 10 minutes.
and then you can contact Sarah
Didn't even be here
to set the room up? All right. That works. I'll get on this tomorrow morning.
Is there anything else? I'll make a motion to adjourn. I get a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Have a good evening, everyone.
Yep.
God bless.
Yeah, we need 6.